Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another installment of Star Citizen. Now, on one of my previous videos, somebody had asked that I revisit the Gladiator, as the video did not really go as according to plan. So I am in the OU, the offline universe, again today, and I'm going to show you some of the combat abilities of the Gladiator. Let's get to it.
Selection confirmed.
So, in the previous Gladiator video, I touched on how I kind of prefer the Gladiator over the Retaliator, as they're both bombers. One is a light bomber, one is a heavy bomber. Heavy bomber being the Retaliator. I actually owned a Retaliator for about 2 weeks. Tried to fly it, tried to crew it. Given the fact that it has no pilot weapons, you're actually at a huge disadvantage. The Retaliator is definitely more of a capital ship killer than anything else. The size 9 torpedoes that the Tally has will kill anything that they hit. Problem is, those size 9s aren't very fast. Gladiator has a bunch of size 2 missiles on there. I actually swapped out this one for the Rattler. I love the Rattler. I always try to throw at least 1 or 2 Rattlers on all of the ships that I tend to use more often than not. It also comes with some size 5 Talon Stalker torpedoes. Now, the size 5s, in my opinion, also are incredibly deadly. Again, though, given that they are a torpedo, not a missile, they do go slower than a missile. Rule of thumb, way to think about it is the larger the size, generally, the slower it goes, but the the character's head there just spun around. But the more powerful. So, you know, a size 3 is going to hit harder than a size 1, but a size 1 is going to go faster than a size 3. So really, it all kind of depends on what your what your goal is, what you're hoping to accomplish, and I cannot fly. Oh boy. Oh yeah, that's not embarrassing or anything. Alright, so let's pull up landing gear. Now, I did turn on my AI, and I'm hoping she's with us. Let's see. Hi, Alex.
Greetings.
Ah, there we go. Okay, Alex, system check. System check.
Yes, Captain. Stand by. Current status. Navigation, missions, fuel, repairs, and systems checked. Maintenance complete.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go. Alright, so let's go visit our favorite junior cartographer, Tessa Bannister. One of the good things about the Gladiator is the fact that not only does it have the 2 wing weapons, but it's got the 2 size 1 I think I messed that up. Not only does it have the 2 wing weapons, but it has the 2 size 1 turrets. Now, or turret weapons. There's only 1 turret. The cool thing about that turret is it can either be manned by somebody, or the pilot has access to it, which is me firing now. I wish they did that with more ships, like the Cutlass. It would be really cool if the pilot could also control the top turret. I wish they would allow that on more vehicles, because that could be really, really helpful.
Could you look up these coordinates? Scans are saying something's there, but can't ID it.
Alex, make it so.
Affirmative.
I love that. So if you're wondering who Alex is, she is my, quote, AI, and by that I mean she is part of the voice attack, voice profile, or voice packs. I think that's what they're called. Basically, it's a application that you can set up to work in conjunction with certain video games. They have profiles specifically made for Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, and those are the only ones that I know of. I didn't really look into it more than my need, which is Star Citizen. And the cool thing is you can actually go in and set up custom commands. So one of my custom commands is this one. Ready? Super thrusters.
Affirmative.
So when I say that, what happens is she then kicks on the afterburners as well as the boost. So if I were to say emergency reverse, oh, she didn't do it. Hold on. Emergency reverse.
Engaging.
See, now if you notice, it's also doing the boost right there. So she has me go in reverse, and I just like having these couple of extra tertiary commands set up, because you never know. The reverse and the emergency reverse ones I use for when I'm flying the larger ships. Not necessarily the smaller ones. I have a little bit more control over those ones. But the voice attack is also really good for manipulating shields. If you've seen some of my previous videos, then you would know. So let me give you an example. So if you see my shields right there, watch this. Front shields.
Fortifying requested shield.
See that? So she actually put the shielding towards the front, just like I asked. Equalize shields.
If you know what's good for you, you'll stay out of this.
Equalize shields.
Shields equalized.
And now they're equalized. So now I can also tell her, power to weapons. Power to weapons.
Transferring power to weapons.
So now I should be able to really lay it into the Gladiator. Gladius. Oh, it looks like my torpedo is locking on, but I don't think he's gonna survive much longer. I'm not gonna waste a torp on a Gladius. And just like that, Gladius is killed. Map.
Warp drive online.
Okay, so that's just my little trick to find the beacon for this mission. Sometimes it gets a little bit confusing, especially when you are going in combat motions. Sometimes you lose track of exactly where this beacon is. It's not exactly easy to find. But back to the Gladiator itself. This is by far probably one of my more favorite specialized vehicles, and by that I mean obviously it's a bomber. It is I believe a carrier class bomber, and basically what that means is this is a short to mid-range capable bomber. So if you've got to partake in the longer type of strike missions, it would probably be a better idea to load it up onto a carrier. I know we don't necessarily have carriers just yet per se. However, from my understanding, it would be a good ship to load up into, like a Polaris, an Idris, Javelin. I know those aren't out yet, so we really don't have concrete. What's the word? Not statistics. Metrics. We don't have concrete metrics that we can really compare them to, but it does state, if I recall, that the Gladiator is more of a carrier bomber.
Hey, Jenny, think you could head on back and whip us up a cup of something hot? I'm about to pass out. Got a contact. Multiples. Let's see what the ridges say. Not coming up. Forget the drink. I need you on shield now!
Oh. If I can find the entrance. There we go. Now, one of the funny things is the animations for re-entering when you're out into space are a little bit wonky. Like, watch, I'm about to go through the roof. Literally. Oh, that's funny.
Rock or something. But what you found was pretty neat too.
Proximity alert. Port. Proximity alert. Aft. Proximity alert.
So now let's run to one of the comm arrays
Quantum travel, engage.
and liberate it, or initialize it in this case. Alright, I'm taking bets now. Who thinks it's going to be an Aurora? Hands up. I do. I think it's going to be an Aurora. Or it's going to be something ridiculous like a Cutlass. Actually, if it's a Cutlass, I might be able to nail it with a Torp. So that would be kind of cool. Come on, Cutlass. I think it's an Aurora. I think it's going to be an Aurora. Oh, it's an Aurora! The little bastard. Alright, let's make short work of this one. If I can hit it. The Auroras, even though they're basically bricks, their cross-section really isn't too large. They are halfway decent at dodging shots, which is ironic, given that they've got the maneuverability of a space brick. Power to weapons.
All power to weapons.
Equalize power.
Power equilibrium restored.
So I would definitely suggest investing into voice attack, especially if you're a new pilot and you're still learning all the controls and the hotkeys. It makes it really, really simple and streamlined when you can literally just vocally ask to enable or manipulate a particular power or weapon or any particular setting instead of having to remember them in the midst of battle. And oh, okay, thought the game froze. Once again, you see the animations are a little bit wonky. I just went right through the solid ground. That's a feature, not a bug. Remember that. But yeah, no, it's obviously still a little bit rough around the edges. I don't know of a ton of people who own a Gladiator, so it might just be, you know, due to lack of ownership that maybe they didn't polish some of the animations, or you know, perhaps they are planning on revisiting it, or perhaps that might be an issue solved when item 2.0 comes out with alpha 3.0. Who knows? I can only hope. And I hope 3.0 fixes a lot of these small annoyances. Much like the SMG and the magazine, because I mean, even though the laser repeater, which I currently have equipped, is kind of neat, I'm more of a ballistics type of guy. Especially given that ballistics ignore shields. I've actually put a major hurting on enemy ships with just my ballistic weapons. I mean, I didn't, you know, destroy a Hornet with it, with the SMG, but I was able to blow off. I want to say it was a Gladius. I was able to injure a Gladius pretty decently with just the ballistics. It was previously injured. It wasn't, you know, a pristine Gladius, but the point stands. When I tried to do the same with the laser weapon, once the shields recharged, it basically, you know, it was basically healed. So let's mosey back on over to Tessa Bannister. Say hi. See if she's got something new for us. I'm betting she does. That's right.
I should probably be less impressed by that, shouldn't I?
So,
Question for you. This
well, I'll
sounds
wait.
serious,
Hold on.
right?
Well, that sounds more than serious, if you know what I mean. Giggity giggity goo. Okay, now it doesn't. That sounds kind of
It's
creepy.
coming from these coordinates. You should help if you can.
You know, I will. So, touching back on the great debate, the great bomber debate, the Retaliator, at least the heavy bomber variant, as that's the one that I had, carries, what was it, 6 size 9 torpedoes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, just one of those torpedoes was 70,000 UEC. So if you were to have bought one from Voyager Direct, that's $70. So once I really looked at that and kind of put those costs together, I was like, there's no way I'm going to run a ship whose combined armaments are just about the price of the ship itself. That is batshit. Complete, utter batshit craziness. Having the heavy bomber, again, as I previously stated, there are no pilot-controlled weapons, which is fucking ridiculous if you ask me, because you are basically a sitting duck in that ship, and it's huge. That thing has got a massive cross-section. I mean, you could basically just aim in its general direction, and you're going to basically hit it. Even giving it the fact that it has 5 turrets, 5 manned turrets. In the state of the game currently, with the way turrets are, you're basically still useless. If you're flying that tally and you're trying to do any sort of combat maneuvering or trying to engage in an actual strike mission, you're more of a liability than a help. Again, you know, the thing is just so massive. The missiles that the thing fires are really slow. I mean, the only thing really, in my opinion, that a Retaliator would be good for taking out is somebody who is very skilled in their Starfarer or Starfarer Gemini, as that is really the one of, if not the only, examples that I can currently think of that a Retaliator might have a chance. And even then, if that Starfarer zeroes you in and just fires a couple volleys of those size 4s, it's taking pieces off. Especially if he's lucky and one of those shots hits you in the canopy, you're done. And now it's basically space salvage.
Someday I'll be able to return the favor.
Although, same could be said about if the tally lands one of those torps on said Starfarer. Well, you've just reduced it now to salvage, and that tally gets to fly away. Question is whether or not you can do that before incurring crippling damage, which is kind of pushing it. In fact, reminds me of a story. Not a story. This actually happened to me a few months back. I was flying in my, I want to say it was my Starfarer Gemini, and I started getting incoming fire. Well, I spin it around. Somehow I was able to spin it around fast enough to see that it was a Retaliator, and the thing just starts firing its torps at me. I mean, it fired about 2 torps per volley. So it's fired 3 volleys, 2 torpedoes. Magically, I don't even know how, I was able to avoid and dodge. That's what I was looking for. I was able to dodge the incoming torpedoes, and then I chased the Retaliator down and destroyed it. And I felt great. It felt so great. I really thought I was going to die because I could see all 5 turrets, at least 4 turrets, firing at me. And I'm not going to lie, I did take some damage. Luckily, I was manipulating my shields accordingly, so when I was taking too much in the front, I'd push my shields front. Same with port and starboard. Another Aurora. And yeah, I was able to pwn that tally when the tally is the one that started the fight, and I cannot tell you how gratifying that was. I mean, you want to talk about emergent gameplay? That right there. And I felt so good because I was in the right. They attacked me needlessly. Power to weapons.
Max weapons.
Look at that. Didn't even have to. Equalize power.
Redistributing power.
Close menu.
Acknowledged.
But yeah, so, you know, with the tally, I definitely feel that the tally has a place, especially in maybe a particular fleet, or a particular org's fleet, but not in mine. And it's a shame, because I really liked the idea of tally I really liked the look of the Tally. You know, it had like a stealth bomber kind of look to it, you know, but it was really long, and I mean, it had really aggressive lines, and I really liked that. Aesthetically, I really liked it. It's just functionally, the thing wasn't very functional. And it's a shame, because it really is beautiful, especially inside. You know, I like how it's got like this kind of submarine vibe to it, you know, when you're walking around on the interior, and you can, you know, you feel kind of that claustrophobic, but at the same time, you know, you feel kind of empowered because of just the huge torpedoes, and you can go inside the torpedo bays and walk around them, and just to see how large they are. You know, even though it is just a video game, it's a thing I mean, it's awesome, and I mean literally awesome. Like, it's awe-inspiring awesome. But for me, the Gladiator is just such a better choice. Gladiator price, if I'm not mistaken, I think is $165 versus the Retaliator bomber, which, if I'm not mistaken, is $275. So you're paying for so much more, and I mean, you're paying so much more, and in my opinion, not getting very much for it. You know, again, maybe once capital ships become more of a regular thing, where they are more of a regular threat, Tally might have, you know, a bigger, better place in the universe. But really, for right now, it feels way too niche. Yeah, it's niche. The job for the Retaliator is too niche, but the Gladiator, not so much. This definitely has a place. I mean, especially if you go to play Pirate Swarm in Arena Commander, when you start going up against the Vanguards and the Constellations, these torpedoes make very short work of them. And I think I'm gonna leave the video here. The reason for redoing or re-recording a Gladiator video was somebody had asked to kind of see its combat capabilities a little bit better. I hope I was able to highlight those and give you a better understanding of just how much the Gladiator is capable of doing. And right down here, those are the torpedoes right there. Wanted to make sure I at least got a shot of those before I end the video. So if we look at the underside, I mean, you can just see those are some massive armaments. You know, one of those hits a Constellation, hits a Vanguard, you're going kablooey. I really don't think you would need a size 9 to hit them, and I don't think a size 9 would do very well, especially given that the Constellation alone can hit 450 with regular cruising speed. I can't remember offhand what the what the Vanguard series would be, although I would have to guess the Hoplite versus the Warden would probably differ in some way, as one is I think more a heavy attack, while the other one's more of a dropship. Hoplite being the dropship. But yeah, so I think I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully you liked it. Try to, once again, highlight the combat capabilities of the Gladiator a little bit more, as, like the commenter did say, really wasn't much to show, and then I think I glitched out, or I lost connection to the server, which is, again, one of the reasons why I like to do the offline, because, look, no server loss. So, this has been a revisit of the Gladiator. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see something else, you want to see, the same thing again, leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see something different, let me know. I try to respond to as many comments as possible. Try to be as open and forthcoming as possible. And by all means, if I make a mistake, I want to know. The last thing I want to do is, mislead people. I don't want to be misinforming people. That is not my goal. I am not trying to do clickbait. If you want to click and watch my videos, that's on you. I am going to never purposely try to deceive you. If I do get some information wrong, I apologize. That is not my goal. I want to be as informative and as upfront as possible. So, if you like the video, leave a comment, leave a like. If you want to see something else, leave a comment detailing what that is. If you want to see more with the same stuff, let me know down there. I read and listen to all of your guys' comments and information because that's the whole point. You know, I want you guys to enjoy it. I want us to be a nice little community. I know this is still a small channel, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm doing this out of a place of love for the game of Star Citizen and for its community. Star Citizen has the best community I've ever come across, and I want to help as much as I can. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Will, and all you beautiful bastards out there, have a wonderful night. Peace.